KB, bring in this movie, Cruella. I want to say this is when I saw the title for this, I said to myself, "Oh, here we go with another remake." So, talk to me why I didn't have to think that way.
All right, so this is the origin story of Cruella before she becomes Miss DeVille, right? So it is actually about Estella, not necessarily Cruella yet, and how she grows up. Now, I will say, this story is kind of like a villain's origin story, but in my personal opinion, we don't really get to the true essence of the villain quite yet. Like I think we hit on Cruella. We know Cruella is a villain. We know that from our Disney content, right? But we don't really get to see that. We just kind of see the troubled life that she had, growing up as a teenager in London, what it took, the struggle, the stripes, and also just the joy and the sheer passion that Cruella has when it comes to fashion. I'm not going to lie. This movie actually surprised me in a ton of ways. I ended up liking it way more than I thought I would because the fashion, the music, listen, the only thing for me that wasn't really top tier was how that accent went in and out. Like, Emma, now, girl, now what is happening? Because sometimes you're British, sometimes you're something else, sometimes you're a mix of British and American. I was like, now, child, I don't know what we do with this accent, but I still thought she gave a really commanding performance as Cruella, apart from the accent. And everyone else, honey, I mean, Emma was living in this film. So, I've seen a lot of reviews where people are like, oh, this is very Devil Wears Prada. And I get it because of the fashion aspect. But for me, it's still its own unique villain origin story. And I was really digging it. I just needed more of Kirby, though. I will say that.
So it's really interesting. When I actually liked it a little bit better than I thought I would as well. I definitely saw the Devil Wears Prada in this one. It was unmistakable because of how mean Thompson was to the other Emma Stone. How mean she was. So it was like I saw that. I mean, it was a clear, easy comparison. But you're lazy, I think, if that's where you stop. If you stop at that comparison, then you are lazy. Because what they did in this film, I think, is that they were able to know that they were in that pocket, but own their own story. And I was really surprised that they were able to do that in terms of looking somewhat similar. But the fashion in this was absolutely fabulous. There is a scene, and again, we don't like to give away too much, but there's a scene with a garbage can. All I want to say is the dress for that. Oh my God, how creative. I mean, so they did a lot of really good things from a creative perspective. And then we talk about all the other characters. The other characters in this, I think, really helped to balance this out. Because while it was an Emma show, they needed these other people. And the dogs were a good character as well, I think. The dogs were a great character. I know Katya's like, yeah, I told you because I got a dog. Whatever. Katya, your thoughts?
I'm with KB. I had zero expectations and was pleasantly surprised. Emma Stone's accent was a little, lackadaisical. It kind of was like 1 minute she was British and then I don't know wherever she's from. But that is not, it's a small thing. But we do have to talk about, I feel like this is also we forget this takes place in 70s London. So we have punk, we have glam rock, we have disco, and all of it was on full display. Like I want to say Archie, when she walked into the dress shop, I was like, this is very Ziggy, David Bowie, period. These costume designers should be in contention come awards season because they understood the assignment and then some. When she had the black paint on her face, that is very punk, very rebellious, And then Emma Thompson represented like the old traditional, very glamorous. Can we talk about, I'm a sucker for clothes being tailored and fitted. Yes. And her fit was divine from head to bottom. And also stop. Her headdresses. Like, yes. Come on now. I was like, come through, fashion team. And the makeup was precise. everything. I mean, the one thing about this movie is the art design, hair, makeup, wardrobe. They all understood the assignment. They weren't afraid to spend that Disney coin. I agree with you. The two sidekicks gave it the comic relief. And I like that this movie was dark. Again, I love that it went in a whole different direction because Glenn Close, we all know, is a legend. And it's hard to, what do you do after she was Cruella? Do you know what I mean? And I think they did the right thing. They said, we got to go completely different. We got to go younger. I will say that I enjoyed this a lot. This was I think, a good time. And it's a nice breakup to what we usually get this time of year, which is explosion, 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 2 words and more explosion, right? But I will say that it's a little dark, and there are some moments where I think younger kids, when I say younger, I mean 5 and below, are going to get confused or maybe traumatized at some of the stuff that what happens in the film, because, you know, they're young and they don't necessarily connect it. So I wouldn't let my younger kids see it, but like tweens, grade school, they're fine. But this was really, and I really liked Emma Thompson in this. Like, she was divine. Like, she really was like that. Really, like, I don't care. I don't know what the problem is. This is all about me.
It's funny that you said that, but it's funny that you said the two sidekicks, being Horace and Jasper.
Yeah.
It's funny that you said you feel like they brought the comic relief, because to me, I think that they added some depth to Estella's character. Like, there were times when Jasper was like, now, girl, what are you doing? Like, we've all led a tragic life. You gotta have to pull yourself together. So I think that he kind of was her conscience and a voice of reason, even though he was silly and came up with these zany, crazy ideas for them these adventures for them to go on in the beginning. So yeah, I like the balance though of all 3 of them for sure.
Yeah, I like what you said there, KB, because more than the comic relief for me, Katya, was the fact that he was her conscience and was really thinking about her as a person. And I really like that about no, this next thing is not a grift. We're this next thing that we're doing, it's not a grift. We are going to do this because this is where you want to go. This is where you want to be. And I love that part as well. And I think another thing though, Katya, that you said that I want to kind of end on is that the costumes were a character in and of themselves. Emma Thompson looked fabulous and amazing. Don't really capture it, right? I need like Billy Porter to give me a word for this, right? Because fabulistic. I don't know, but it was
velocity, and I also used the word opulence because it's exactly what you said. Is the costumes help define the power structure. Her clothes were I'm rich, I'm powerful, I'm opulent. Emma as Estella was I'm hungry, I want to be you, I don't got the money, and I gotta kind of like work outside the lines. But it definitely, if you didn't know anything about this movie, we turned down the sound, and you just saw these 2 women, you would immediately know, okay, she's a boss.
Yeah. So this will watch it for me. KB?
100% watch it for me. And I can't wait for the sequel, because I would like to see where I've decided they're getting a sequel. No, it has not been announced by Disney, but I would like to see where, kind of Cruella, Jasper, and Horace go from here, because I do feel like there may be some sort of, downfall between the 3 of them that we could really play with in the sequel, that I would like to see. And, at the end of the day, it was a sea full of Cruellas, but there's only one DeVille.
Ooh, girl, snap.
We gotta close on that.
Yeah, that's hot. You heard it here, right here with Reggie. I know she put that in her review, but you heard it here first. Go ahead, Katya. Is it watching for you?
1000%. It's
a
good time.
Excellent.